You can get it. But don't feel pressure to like make them cry.
Make them cry. Make it.
You cry.
You're killing me, Smalls.
Oh my word.
Well, I really want to see what your setup is for having all of these sound effects so ready and queued up.
Right?
What do you?
How'd you do it, Paul?
Yeah.
Now we're going to do something extremely fun. We're going to play a wonderful game called Who is My Daddy and What Does He Do?
And what does he do?
Oh my.
Sorry.
Oh no.
I dropped my
Going
notes
down there. Let's see. Oh, there's a
Sorry, Ben.
Danae, do you have a hard stop time for tonight?
Nope.
Okay. Do you have a spiritual speculation for tonight, Danae?
I don't.
Okay, that's fine. I have one. It'll be pretty quick, I think.
Yeah, I haven't done one for a while, so I wasn't. I couldn't remember what the context was again.
Okay, just something spiritual that the movie prompts you to think about. But
Oh yeah.
this one's not super deep in that regard, I don't think.
Oh, I've been surprised.
Thank you for the raid, Geek Devotions. Welcome. We're still getting set up here, but you've been
You know how they
surprised.
rated us.
Howdy, Roy. Really? Francis, go. Not Roy. Not Roy.
I think it is Roy, because Ask Geek Devotions, anything's possible with the impossible drive. Right, Geek Devotions?
You have that sound too, Paul.
By the way, if this is Dallas watching, I think he should send us that the one that he used for like, I think it would be great for Francisco's fabulous fan fiction. It's kind of like this.
I mean, I have one for fan. I don't have it on my board, but I have one that I
then you
overlay.
don't have one. Yes, I know you're watching, but I don't know who I am is. I guess that's Dallas, right?
I am as God and Jesus.
Well,
Obvi.
and the Holy Spirit.
Hey, Hafner. Hello.
Roy sounds cranky tonight.
Apple. Oh my gosh. Hello, Cellcast. And thank you so much for the Raid Geek Devotions. Because it's a podcast, I'm not going to do Weird Al.
Oh, you just got denied the Weird Al.
Fine. You want some hardware store? I was practicing hardware store.
Yes, go for it.
Okay. I'll do hardware store here.
Do it.
Hardware store lyrics.
Hey, Einstein, I'm on your side.
I'm gonna slow it down just a bit. Yeah. Well, whatever. You blame me all you want.
Oh, no.
I'm going to
No, get to the part.
Okay, well, I was saying it up. It's right after that.
All right, go. Get there.
Would you look at all that stuff? We've got Allen wrenches, durable feeders, toilet seats, electric heaters, trash compactors, juice distractors, shower rods, and water meters, the walkie-talkies, copper wires, safety goggles. Wait, yeah, I said it was slower. I said it was slower.
Doesn't count.
What do you want? Okay, Allen wrenches, durable feeders. I can't do it that fast. I have to practice. I have to
back and
build
do
up
it
the tongue muscle memory, and so I start off slow,
Yeah,
and then slowly building
I got a
up.
song for you.
Seriously, Paul.
Wow. Okay. I hope this episode goes well. Thank you, Ashley.
Oh, thank you. We're actually
Paul-
going to do an episode? I thought we were hanging
Yeah,
out.
I know. Can you imagine that? It's been like a month. Can you open us up in prayer, please, Paul?
All right, Lord, thank you so much for tonight. I pray everything goes well, especially technically. And I pray that people's hearts and minds would be touched and they'd be drawn closer to you somehow. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Okay, so I want us to start with 5 seconds of just quiet. Don't mute yourself at all because I want to pick up your sort of like a floor level noise, ambient noise to remove later. So we'll start now.
Okay, Power Rangers, let's do it.
Okay. Oh my gosh,
It's
Paul.
like, is that just physically painful for every week?
I can't do it, Captain. I don't have the power.
Okay, Scotty. Or is that Chekhov? That's Scotty, right?
Scotty. Hey, Star Fox.
All right. I don't.
And
Do I
Sweet
have a
Night.
skit? Okay, I do have a
I-
skit. I thought I didn't have a skit there for a second. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Oh, don't do that.
All right, so guys, by the way, I only have the opening Travis intro. All the other sound effects are still Alice.
I think
so.
Danae can get Travis to,
I could. Yeah, I could.
Not that Travis or
You
AI
can combine
Travis.
that with the kids crying at the same time, like all inclusive. If you want to invite them on, just 2 for 1, 3 for 1.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, Power Rangers, let's do it!
Okay. All right. Here we go.
Do a barrel roll!
Thank you, Peppy. All right. So I started the DAR. We're actually starting in the actual show here. Oh, thumbs up if you're ready to start the actual show. Oh my gosh, Paul. Hey, Kevin, by the way. Oh, that's amazing. Really? You watched this 100 times? Wow.
Wow.
Over 100.
Wow.
I'll probably recite some of it.
All right, here we go then. Starting in 5, 4,
Wait for
3.
Wait for it.
If this is all a dream, what's gonna happen when we wake up?
I don't
what's-
know. Why are we talking like that?
What's I don't remember this. What is this at the end?
This is at the end. This is very end. Yes.
Who says this?
And this is the theatrical version, by the way, that I watched. But that's
Oh
Ethan.
no! You watched the theatrical? I watched the home video one.
Good for the tuna. Fine. I think that's River Phoenix that you are.
If this
And
is all
then
a
I'm
dream,
Ethan
oh, this is the worst River Phoenix impression ever.
Good.
Ready?
Yes.
If this is all a dream, what's gonna happen when we wake up?
I don't know, but I can't wait to find out on this episode of the Retro Rewind podcast.
Thunder Road 3 now online. How can I help you travel through movie space-time today? Course entered. Explorers, 1985. Is this correct?
Yes.
Course set. Rewinding in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome, Rewinders and new listeners, to the Retro Rewind podcast, where we take a fresh look at movies and games from 15 or more years ago. I'm your captain of the pod, Francisco Ruiz, and I'm joined by your XO and mine, Paul, the PaulJPowers.com Powers. Today being played by a mouse, apparently. Also, for this discussion of the film Explorers, we welcome back aboard engineering officer of the pod, Danae Berg. Hey, Danae.
Hello.
Welcome to the Thunder Road 3.
Yes, we're now on the Thunder Road 3. So,
The
I guess
escape pod of the Thunder Road 2, or the pod itself.
it's more like the away ship of the pod, the scout
yeah.
ship, away ship.
It's the
Science
replacement of the
vessel.
Thunder Road 2, which is
Yeah.
our shuttle, basically, right?
Well, no, it is the replacement for that.
Yeah, it's our shuttle craft.
Okay,
to
yeah,
the
yeah.
main ship.
Anyway, if you're like really confused right now, check out our ship's logs. We've got a whole like 15 part story now of what's been happening. But now that you have a quick flyby of who we are, Paul, can you give us a quick overview of the production specs for Explorers?
Sure. The Explorers was a TV series from 1972 to 1976 with episodes running 55 minutes long. The lead stars
Paul,
being
do you hear that
Leslie
sigh?
Nielsen.
Do you hear that sigh that I'm putting out there into
I
the
thought you were
universe?
just a tired old man.
Oh my gosh, you're older than me, Paul.
Yeah, well, you're only as old as you feel. You-
Paul,
yeah.
not a TV show.
No.
We're covering the movie Explorers
Oh.
from 1985.
Oh.
That could have been brought to my attention yesterday!
All right, let me go back and rewatch the right one. All right. Explorers, not The Explorers, but just
Correct.
Explorers,
Yes.
was released July 12th, 1985, and runs an hour and 49 minutes. It's rated PG, and it was directed by Joe Dante and his Inferno of Gremlins and other such things. It was written by Eric Luke, and with lead stars being Ethan Hawke, River Phoenix, Bobby Fitte, whoever that is, and Robert Picardo, with music also being composed by Jerry Goldsmith. Are you ready for the box office trivia?
I'm ready. Danae, are you ready?
I'm so ready.
And everyone who's live here in chat, feel free to join in as well. Go for it, Paul.
All right. Explorers was made for about 20 million and unfortunately only earned just under 10 million at the box office. Given this fact, how high in the box office do you think it ranks among the movies released theatrically in 1985? This time we'll go for the top 100.
Top 100. All right. Well, Danae, what is your guess?
I'm good.
Okay.
We'll just wait. If that happens, we'll just wait. Okay.
Yep. Okay, so you said
What was your guess for
of how many and
100.
Top-
Top
out of the
100.
top 100 of 1985? Yeah.
oh gosh.
I'll give you this much. It's not number 1, so you only have 99 to choose.
What? Okay.
It's madness.
Is it closest to, or is it like Price is Right rules?
It depends if
Closest
I'm gonna.
to.
It's closest
Okay.
to. Yeah.
Okay, 53.
53. Okay. Almost toward the middle. Let's see. Kevin in chat guesses 13. Star Fox guesses 80. Hafner 86. Appledance 93. So it just keeps going down and down and down. I'm going to be somewhat generous to this and say 49. That's going to be my guess. But Paul, where did this actually pan out in the top 100?
We'll give Bobo the honorary 42 mark.
Oh, really? Oh, was it 42?
No.
Oh, okay.
But actually, Hafner hit it right on the head. It's
Really?
86.
Oh, wow.
According to
okay.
boxofficemojo.com this time.
Well done, Hafner. Yeah, sway Bobo, you're a bit behind, but yes, 42. That wasn't it. But thank you for those factoids, Paul. And let's see if any of them factor into our memory mind meld or subsequent roundtable discussion, which we'll get into once Alice has located our target film. That should say Travis.
Good job, Travis. You sound like Alice.
I'm going to redo that. Hold on, because it should say Travis. Okay. Thank you for those factoids, Paul. And let's see if any of them factor into our memory mind meld or subsequent roundtable discussion, which we'll get to once Travis has located our target film. Do the bumper. Now we're going to do the Explorers TV spot here.
It's going to be right over there.
If someone finds out about this, they're going to try to take it away from us, and they can't do that because you dreamt it, I built it, and it's our secret.
It was a discovery
Tonight, we launch.
beyond their imagination.
Yeah, open her up. Let's see what she can do. Are you serious? Yeah.
Now it's taking them to a place
We're going straight up.
beyond the stars.
How about a planet full of Amazon women who want to breed a new race?
Pervert. Oh, come on, you guys. You'll see. It'll be great. It'll be the greatest thing ever.
What if we want to go back?
Go back? Now you say this? Why don't you look around? It's a little too late. We are going where no man has gone before. They're here.
River Phoenix and Ethan Hawke star in an out-of-this-world adventure.
Me Ben.
It's intergalactic fun for the entire family in The Explorers.
If someone finds out about this,
Yes, intergalactic fun for the whole family, especially when you use the score from Willow to publicize your movie.
Who wrote the score to Willow?
Horner, I
I
think.
have to look it up.
Yeah, I think James Horner. That sounds right.
Oh,
That
okay.
sounds right. It would have been cool if it was Jerry Goldsmith. But memories of composers aside, that trailer probably brings back some memories we had for Explorers if we ever watched this movie. And let's find out what that is, what those memories were in our memory mind meld synopsis. Kids find a bubble that gives them dreams of going to Gattaca to find the Cross of Coronado. That's some deep cuts there. I wonder who remembered that. They used those dreams to build a spaceship from an old carnival ride, leading young Indiana Jones to team up with teenage Ethan Hawke and some curly-haired kid to meet teenage aliens in outer space. I mean, I guess there are bits and pieces of that were correct, but most of it was decepted. But based on those memories, as flawed as they were, what rain did they lead you to predict for this film before you rewatched it? Classic, nostalgic, or tragic? Danae, I believe this was your first time watching the film. Is that correct?
It was. And
Okay.
I'm not going to lie, didn't even know this was a movie.
You're like, oh, we're viewing that 51 part series on TV, The Explorers. Yeah, of
I'm
course.
in. Sign me up.
So was I, but no.
Oh my gosh. Well, so not knowing anything about this, what was your prediction for Explorers, Danae?
Based solely on the fact that I hadn't heard of it,
Mm-hmm.
I was going to predict tragic.
Tragic. All right, that's fair. Paul, how about you?
I enjoyed this as a kid. Never saw it in the theater, but watched it on home video countless times. And so I predicted classic.
Classic. Okay, wow. For me, I have seen it before, and I never really got into it all that much, and wasn't really looking forward to the rewatch when I saw that it was one of the ones missing from our archives or got corrupted in our archives. So I predicted tragic as well. But it will be interesting to see if those predictions come true. But first, let's get into the things we did like about Explorers. Travis, spin up our
Best bets.
All right, and let's start with Danae. What's one thing you did like about Explorers?
I did like the casting. I think that it was well cast. They were a good age for it.
Yeah.
I thought Ethan Hawke, for his age, was a good actor.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I won't say all of the script writing was great, but I don't think that's their fault. But I think the casting was good, and it had I'll leave it at that. I like it.
Okay. All right. Very fair. Paul, were there any members of the cast you gravitated to that made your like list, or just something else?
Not in
float to the top for you?
particular, but I enjoyed the music by Jerry Goldsmith.
Jerry.
Did you now?
Jerry.
Did you know?
I mean, not all of. Well, I thought it was good.
Yeah. Okay. You thought it was
Especially
good?
for the tone of the type of movie
It
this is.
fit the movie well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm curious. Did you feel like it felt too much, almost like Star Trek in a way? I know Jerry Goldsmith does a lot of Star Trek scores.
No.
No. Okay. I was curious.
This was right on par for teenagers in space.
So, Space Camp John Williams is what you're saying.
80s
Yeah.
young teenagers, not these punk rock teenagers
My
in
gosh.
space.
All right. Fair. For me, something that I enjoyed was I felt like sort of going to what you were saying, Danae, about how who is cast. I felt like the way that I guess the lines they gave these kids to say made them feel grounded, like they were referencing pop culture items. They seemed like actual I think I want to say like freshmen in high school or maybe the top of middle school. I wasn't quite sure. I didn't pay that much attention to the school name that they went
I was
to.
about to say, did you fall asleep again? Because there was
No,
like
I didn't fall
half
asleep.
second shot of it said junior high.
All
Yeah.
right, so junior high then. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
But they were obviously older junior high.
yes.
It
so
would have been better if they had been high schoolers instead of junior high school.
Yeah.
Probably.
Young high schoolers. Yeah,
Yeah.
that would have been, yeah.
So I thought that they felt like actual kids in this place. It didn't feel like it didn't feel like your typical 30-year-olds playing high schoolers.
You know,
It didn't feel like
I
that.
was right there. I was like, wow, they actually got high schoolers to play high schoolers. Then I saw it was like junior high. Oh, they tried.
You're 12. Yeah, how
Oh,
old were they
my
when they filmed it?
Well, River
That's
Phoenix was
a
the
great
oldest. I think he was about
Yeah.
15, 16.
Okay.
And
Okay.
Ethan Hawke was 14 and
Yeah.
and what's his name was
Jason something.
Jason Darren or whoever was 13.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm surprised
Darren
it
was actually junior high age.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. I didn't really go into this like particular characters, but I liked his character the most. This sort of mechanic kid that could do it all. I'm trying to
Right.
type correctly so I could get his name up.
It's actually the role River Phoenix wanted.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I saw that.
Yeah, but it was. I thought his name was Darren. Was it Steve?
No, Steve Jackson
Darren.
was
Yeah.
the bully.
Yeah. Darren Woods was the character name, played by Jason Presson.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, so that's something else I liked. In a roundabout way of saying they felt like grounded characters. Danae,
They felt like kids. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Danae, what feelings
Nice
do you
segue.
have toward
Take two.
Oh my gosh. Danae, what made you feel good about Explorers?
Oh, let's see. This is like the next like.
Yes, exactly.
Let's see.
Because it's my perfect segue that you obviously know what I'm talking about.
No, I missed it because I was looking at my list.
Yes, your next line.
I thought that they did a pretty good job with the 80s ambiance. I mean, it's filmed in the 80s, but like it
This
fits
is no
right
Stranger
in.
Things. Jeez, come
But
on.
like, it definitely fits in that era of movies well.
Yeah, absolutely.
It captures. It's not the best fleshed out like set production and all of that, the plot development, but it definitely felt like it was in the 80s and it felt in place, and it still holds up as like seeming nostalgic and looking realistically.
Yeah. I mean, the whole like having to get a newspaper out of the thing right there.
Yeah.
With put the coin in. I'm like, whoa, that's a throwback. I haven't seen those forever.
And that one guy holding the phone as he's calling somebody, walking
Yes.
around holding. It's
Yes,
like,
yes.
that's such a. People just don't hold their phones and talk anymore like that anymore.
Yep.
Yeah, there's just a lot of things where when Travis and I were watching it, not Travis the system, but
You're married to the AI Travis?
No,
the non-capitalized.
So confused.
But we're like, like this, this gives me vibes of E.T. or Gremlins. You could definitely see, the crossover from Gremlins with being the same director. At one point, we're like, oh, this is giving me really big Mac and Me vibes.
Foreshadowing.
Yeah.
Wait, did he go on to do Mac and Me?
No,
the alien puppetry.
Yes. We're like, why does this seem so campy? We won't get into that. But like, it definitely had elements of a lot of these other kind of well-known 80s movies where you're like, okay, this fits right in the
Yeah.
Because nothing's more well-known than Mac and Me. If you're Paul Rudd.
Yeah, I was going to say if you're Paul Rudd. And watch Conan a lot.
Yes.
Paul, what's something else you liked about Explorers?
Something else I really liked is they have this whole alien theme going on, and how they were able to, even from the beginning, utilize these older movies with aliens in them.
Oh yeah, like War of the Worlds
Yeah.
and the Star Killer made up movie.
Right,
Yeah,
This Island Earth, and the fact that they were able to use them and incorporated them, I thought was really good.
Yeah, absolutely.
And yeah, you don't often see that, like, it's thrown here and there, but this was really well integrated.
It made sense why they were put in there. It wasn't just like,
it didn't feel forced in, like, this is an alien movie, so we have to reference alien movies, but it was actually part of the plot and everything. So
absolutely. Speaking of the plot and sort of getting things going, I thought the first half of this movie, unlike the first half of Jurassic, I did fall asleep, Paul. The first half of this movie,
yes,
unlike Jurassic Park, was actually really good setup. Is like, they're like, okay, they find this new they dream about circuitry. Now they're like building it. Now they have to see what this does. Now they're going to build the Thunder Road to be inside this bubble, and then all the foibles that happen with it, and all these testing sort of little set pieces that happen. I thought that was really interesting until they go up to space, and then I'll stop right there with my like.
All right. So went up to space, ran out of air, the end. Okay.
I want to agree with you, except for I don't. But
Oh my gosh!
You found the pacing, at least the first half, slow and boring?
Yeah, I had such a hard time.
You like the first part of Jurassic Park, so what do you know, Danae?
Slow and boring.
I like all of Jurassic Park. But
So there.
Fair.
I think what it was really missing, because I do like the setup. It was unique. The dream sequence part is a little bit weird. I sort of get. They
Dreams
don't
are, but
really
yeah.
flesh that out very much. I mean, it's like barely explained. I mean, you kind of get it. Then there's like this reference to the police sheriff guy who had the same thing, and then they never come back to that
Yeah,
either.
they don't, which
It's
was
just
weird.
like
Yeah.
there's all these like little plot elements in the beginning where I feel like they could have done a better job establishing the characters
Yeah.
and their
yeah.
personalities. And I feel like you kind of come into it, it's like almost already started, and there's no exposition at all.
That's what I
And
love
that's-
about it. But
Just jump right in. I was like, it didn't really feel like you got as much investment in these characters until about halfway through, and you're like, okay, they're like actually doing stuff. They're like working together as a team. They've got this plan. They're, like iterative with their design process and improvements.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just didn't feel like there was kind of an attempt to do some of the setting up like plot conflict with the whole girl he had a crush on, and then the bully that like didn't even have a relevance to the plot. It was
Yeah,
just, like,
yeah, that
there
was
these-
really weird.
It was
'cause-
trying too hard in a lot of ways that
Yeah.
it could have just focused and had more of effect on the
Yeah,
in the movie.
because like the bully sequence doesn't really show any growth. I guess it sort of makes for Darren and Ben, Ethan Hawke's character, to become friends. But then why are they even friends? It doesn't really.
because
It doesn't feel like.
he
Oh
saved
wow,
them
this
from
is. But
Jackson.
that doesn't seem like a big.
Yeah,
why
no,
does he save him to begin
and then
with?
he was there when the ball became, appeared,
I
and
don't
he was
know.
there with them.
It just didn't feel like there was a real something that tied them together.
There was
all
it
that much.
lacked a lot
isn't.
of cohesion.
What if someone came over to your house when you were 10 years old and you had friends over and they're like, there's no really connection between you guys. Like, what does this guy have to do with you anyway?
I'd
It's
be like,
he's a friend
let
from
me
school.
let me explain this. So,
All right, boring. Move on. Let's go.
Correct.
fine. You're right. Let's move on to the least boring parts of this movie, our classic makers. Paul, why don't you start us off with your classic maker?
It's what Danae started off with, and that's
Oh,
the
really?
cast.
Oh.
I just thought this was extremely well cast.
Oh, okay.
Even down to it was Dick Miller there as the helicopter police guy, and even his friend from Designing Women. So that was
What?
fun to see.
Friend from
the
Designing-
guy in the helicopter with Dick Miller. He's a guy. I was like, oh, I know him. He's from Designing Women.
Oh, okay.
But I thought the casting was just on fire. It was
okay.
great to see these kids and their chemistry. I thought it was just fun to see them up on screen.
I liked. I was gonna say I liked. Was it Mueller's dad, the German dad?
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
He's that.
yes.
What's that actor's name? But he's the farmer in Babe. And I was
Yeah.
like,
James
that'll-
Cromwell.
It's like
James
this
Cromwell.
opportunity when he comes downstairs and there's a mouse, he could have just said, "That'll do, mouse." I'm just-
Of course, this was like 20 years before that.
I know.
No, see, this is where he should have told his son about the Prime Directive.
Yeah.
And-
Hey, the
yeah.
Vulcans are coming, but
Yeah,
not yet.
Wow.
Yeah, he was funny. That was a nice little cameo.
Indeed. The thing that a quick aside, just this wasn't our trivia, so I'll say it here. That if you freeze frame it on the newspaper that the guy that the Designing Women guy buys after they get down out of the helicopter, it'll say like Kingston Falls riots still unexplained, and Kingston Falls is
Oh,
where
yeah.
Gremlins happen. So that's
Yeah.
just a fun little Easter egg for those.
It's the same
That are
universe.
Saw that.
Yeah, apparently it's the same universe.
Yeah. Oh, but going back to what Danae said earlier, speaking
Yeah.
of fun facts,
Yeah.
the reason why they had they were all having the same dreams kind of thing is that there was a subplot and that they got rid of, with Darren with the light shining in his head and like up on the
Oh,
spaceship
yeah.
where it was like going through his thoughts and showing his
yeah,
future. There was a subplot of their consciousness all sharing thoughts and everything, like in through dreams and such like that, and they were going to dive deeper into that, but they scrapped that idea.
It was like
so
way too. That was way too ambitious. There were so many
Yeah.
like attempts at side things that you're like, what was the point of having that? Yeah.
Apparently, like the first cut Joe Dante did was like 3 hours and 15 minutes long or something.
Cool.
I'm like, Who's gonna?
I want to see that.
I don't. I mean, of course I do. Yeah.
I mean, no, I don't.
We're not. What's it called? Tipping our hand at all at our reigns.
Class. I mean, what? No.
But what's funny is, Paul, that your classic maker was the thing Danae brought up at first. My classic maker is the thing you brought up at first, which is the Jerry Goldsmith score.
Yeah.
I thought it was so. It fit the film so well. I'll only ding it because I can't remember anything from it. It's not hummable at all. It doesn't like stick anywhere. There's no hook, but it really I feel like brought the movie up to another level with how well it fit and helped to express the emotion and all of that. So
And
good job.
Jerry
Jerry
Goldsmith is he was a contemporary of John Williams, but passed away, obviously, way sooner.
Wait, he did?
Jerry Goldsmith?
He's dead?
Jerry Goldsmith passed away a long time ago.
Jerry Gold.
What? No, he's still alive as a ghost.
2004.
Oh, 2004, really?
So 19 years ago.
Long time ago.
Oh, all right.
But yeah, he's was very well known for kind of his more avant-garde composing style. I remember learning about this in one of my.
I didn't see that one. Avant-garde. He did that.
No,
Not a
just
movie,
his
Paul. It's a style.
Oh.
I think he did Planet of the Apes, if I remember correctly. Was that?
No, that's Danny Elfman.
Oh, right.
That's the
right,
other
right.
Planet of the Apes.
Let me double check. Like, there's something.
He may have done that. I don't know.
He did several very iconic.
He did
scores. I
Rambo.
was surprised.
He did do the original Planet of the Apes.
Oh, okay.
But that score was so unique. So it's very I don't know, representative of Jerry Goldsmith's style. It's kind of like that sci-fi, a lot of like metallic sounding.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Like features brought in, less symphonic. But I thought that the score was also really well done. It fit the movie.
Okay.
That's why they used him for Star Trek and Total Recall.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, Danae, that leaves you. What was your classic maker for Explorers?
So since we've all touched on a lot of similar things, I'll bring up the one that we haven't talked about, and I don't know. You guys saw that I think it was the special effects was Industrial Light and Magic.
Yeah.
So even though obviously they don't hold up as well today, both Travis and I thought like they did the effects and some of the 3D renderings of like the flyover, the circuit boards.
Yeah, so smooth.
Some of their like motion with the whole space bubble thing. It was like pretty well done for 85.
Absolutely, yeah.
I will say not all of the circuit board design was accurate.
What are you talking about? It was a total Tron ripoff.
Totally. It gives a lot of Tron vibes.
Excuse me, Danae. Have you ever made a space bubble that could travel to space?
No, but I've designed
Then I don't think you know what that type of circuit board looks like, okay?
Come on, these 13-year-olds did it. Come on.
It was funny because the one flyover in the beginning is a different circuit board design, and the one thing is later are a lot more accurate looking.
Oh,
so I'm like,
okay.
I don't know what the difference was there, but I was like, that's not what a circuit board looks like. And then later I was like, okay, this is better done. But yeah, I thought the special effects were really well made.
Yeah.
For their
Awesome.
time.
Very cool. I do also want to point out that Rob Bottin did the makeup effects for the aliens, which I really like his work from The Thing and some other places, but I don't think this was the best.
An award? Did he win an award for this? Yeah.
Did he? Maybe.
I think his mom gave him a good job.
Cool.
Wow.
Hun.
Okay, no, this won like one award when I was looking at it on
Awards.
IMDb.
Oh yeah, you're right. It did win an award.
Best makeup. Saturn
okay.
Award.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, okay. Nominee.
Yeah,
Qualifier.
Robert.
Nominee.
Yeah.
Well, still nominated.
Yes. That's funny. Okay, so, so it's definitely some things to like about Explorers, but you know what? There are a lot of things probably not to like, and so let's get into. Oh man, you'd think after all this time away, I'd have gotten adjusted.
I know you're a bit rusty.
Yeah, I'm a bit rusty, but there is one more thing I like, guys. So sorry about it, and that would be. Geek Devotions. Dang it! Try that again. I lost track of it.
Mode.
Okay. There is one more thing I like, guys. The Untold Podcast. The Untold Podcast is a speculative fiction podcast utilizing the genres of sci-fi, fantasy, and horror, among others, in order to engage the culture's imagination from a Christian worldview. Every month, Nathan James Norman produces and narrates a new story presented in a unique and dynamic way. Check out the Untold Podcast at www.untoldpodcast.com to listen and leave them a review on Apple Podcasts.
Wait, sci-fi, fantasy, and horror?
Yeah.
That's perfect. You did it, Francisco. This Explorers has sci-fi, fantasy, and we're about to get into the horrors of this film.
You know what? I thought you'd appreciate that, Paul. I thought you'd appreciate that. And hey, bonus, Paul, I also have some trivia about Explorers. So let me hit you with that hot alien action. Wait, what? What did I say?
Don't.
Hey, this is a family-friendly podcast.
Don't. No one needs that.
We finally get to the good stuff.
I honestly didn't mean it to sound like that.
Oh, no!
Oh my gosh.
How many options do you have on there, Paul? Just at your fingertips.
A few.
I'm so curious.
Okay.
All right.
Do not clip. Do not clip that.
Let's get into this hot
All right,
alien action. We'll always have Paris.
Okay, well then let's get into this awesome trivia. Well, hopefully it's awesome. You let me know. All right. And let me do this thing. Did you all realize that River Phoenix, who had grown up in the communes in South America, was somewhat unfamiliar with popular culture and slang words? So during rehearsals, it became a running joke when he would attempt a scripted, well-known word or phrase. He would usually pronounce them incorrectly. So my question to you all is, what word or phrase did you used to constantly mispronounce, or maybe you still do mispronounce? For instance, like, let's see, ad nauseum, I always thought was at nauseum, like you were going to throw up if you kept saying and repeating stuff. So let's start with Danae. What's a word you either still do say mispronounce or you used to a lot?
Mine is, I don't remember why I mispronounced it, but a coworker caught me doing this like a few years ago, but I would say subsequent instead of subsequent. I think because in my head, I was like,
Subsequent?
sequence,
Oh, really?
like a sequence of
That
events.
makes a lot more sense.
Subsequent. And she's like, you mean subsequent? I was like, yes, I do mean that, but I don't know why my default was subsequent. So I still
Okay,
catch
cool.
myself doing that.
No,
It's
I
like,
think I officially nominate that we change the word to that because that makes
second,
more sense.
second, subsequent. From now on, it shall be subsequent.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Danae. How about you, Paul?
I often, actually purposely mispronounce words like Danae, memento. I say momento because
Oh, really? Okay.
I think it's a token from a moment, not a memento. It's a memento, not a memento.
not anything related to memory.
Right. It's a memento from a moment.
I think you got you there, Paul, but all right.
Do you do espresso or espresso then?
Espresso.
Okay, you're
Espresso,
forgiven.
yeah.
Then that's fine.
Okay.
But I like to use supposedly, even
Supposedly,
though it's not.
yes.
That's
And
I
there's
feel
a-
like just culturally acceptable now.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
And I often will, not often, but I often, when it comes up, will say, I could care less.
Instead of I couldn't. care
Couldn't,
less.
because I could actually care a little less. But go ahead.
For me, or actually on, I'll read some that you guys are saying here live in chat. Detungsten says that I still pronounce GIF wrong. No, I pronounced it perfectly right. Apple
It's GIF.
says
No, it's GIF.
Apple says I always mispronounced macabre as macabre.
Well, that's how it's
Chupacabra.
spelled.
Yeah, chupacabra, exactly.
Macabre.
And then let's see. Suede says, and oh my gosh, you're clipping that. How dare you? All right. then thank you guys so much for answering that trivia.
Yeah, great trivia, Francisco.
Thank you, Paul.
Now that we've all had some trivia fun, let's find out what memories you, our awesome rewinders, had about
Explorers. And if any of you here live in chat have a memory, by all means say, just type out in caps memory and we'll read it here live.
In caps memory.
Yes.
Sorry, I don't know why I
type
repeated
all that out.
I just like repeating things.
Type all that out.
Patrick Edwards says, I remember watching it and then going out to the backyard and building my own ship and pretending that we were on the same adventures. That's awesome, Patrick.
Fun.
Yeah.
Kirkpatrick Palance says...
Plaisance.
That too. He says the main thing was wanting to try and build my own spaceship. Well, you just need to make friends with Patrick Edwards.
Right? Exactly.
Build one.
Eric Purcell says, I never looked at a Tilt-A-Whirl car in quite the same way again.
Yeah. Jeremy Shields says, I have a vague notion that this film exists. That's about it.
Fair. And then Dustin Warford says, I remember loving the movie until the end. Almost felt kind of like they ran out of money and had to wrap up and end without a quality finish. Wah, wah, wah.
We'll get to that.
And Detungsten says, yes, I had a Tilt-A-Whirl spaceship too. Well, you did? Oh my gosh.
Whoa.
That's amazing.
See, even 13-year-olds could build it. Why can't we?
Right? So I tried building a DeLorean, a time machine, and with like a pedal car thing that my brother had, but I broke it. Anyway,
pedal it up to 88 miles an hour.
Did it work?
No, it didn't work.
Created some friction and started a fire on the rug.
Anyway, thank you all for sharing your memories. And Dustin's comment leads us right into the things we didn't like about Explorers. So let's spin up our
worst woes.
Did you read the chat like you said you were going to?
Yeah, I didn't see any other than Detungsten said the Tilt-A-Whirl. Bob said he never saw it. You have a space-time ship. Well, escape pod. Yeah, I didn't see any. Apple said she didn't have a memory, so I didn't read that she didn't have a memory.
Folks, I was just trying to help. All right, take two.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, though, in case I did miss one.
Yeah.
And by the way, since we're in NMO Detungsten, there wasn't anyone I saw over on the Rumble side either, but you're welcome to watch from over there. Anyway.
Hey.
All right. Let's begin with, I'm going to kick things off with something I don't like. Dang it!
Kick yourself off.
Forgot about that. Something that I didn't really care for that was sort of threw me for a loop was I thought that all the romantic elements seemed very contrived or tacked on. Like the Ethan Hawke's infatuation with the girl, which that's understandable. You have crushes, but I didn't see why they needed to make anything more of it other than I get that it's a good test case for the bubble thing, but
he gets the girl.
But like,
why though? What's the point though of that? That's not the point of the movie
at all. It just felt like one of those.
She joins in the dream at the end, and she joins them on their adventures at the end.
Okay, if she was being bullied, and then this was a way for her to be rescued or something, I could see the connection.
She
There's
was.
no
They
connection
just didn't
here.
go into that other subplot. There's so many subplots.
Are you?
Is that fact? You cannot prove it's not.
Oh my gosh.
Can I jump on this one? Because then I
Yes,
can
please
one of my
do.
dislikes. I did not like this really heavy leaning into this nerdy perv stereotype.
Yeah.
It just felt like it's been done differently in other like 80s movies where it's like, okay, like less weird, less creepy. This one just seemed like it was unnecessary and they were too young. Like with the age that they were supposed to be, it was just more off-putting than anything that was like, oh, they're just like setting themselves up to be like these nerdy kids who are like spying on a girl. Like, I don't know. It didn't feel like it was driving the plot in a way that it needed to.
Like, I feel like an example of it doing this going well is War Games. I feel like that's way much
Or
better.
16
much
Candles. Yeah, Michael
Sure.
Hall.
I haven't seen that, but we'll
Okay,
go with that. Sure.
16 Candles
Like,
is not one to recommend for romance.
No, I just mean as far as like Michael C. Hall, like his nerdy
The romance is
character.
more
Yeah.
believable.
Yeah, I think the characters are just done differently and they're in high school, so yeah.
I was about to say, but they're younger. and they do. Kids that age have crushes. So
Yeah, I just
Yes,
felt
but
like
there's
they
no
were
reason-
making. Yeah,
Go ahead, Danae.
yeah. I just felt like it was the stereotype that they were putting on the age of these kids was too old. Like if they had been older, like high school kids, I don't know. It seems like it would fit with an older cast in a similar aged movie.
sorry.
Go ahead.
16 Candles with Molly Ringworm just made me laugh out
Great.
loud. Not ring. Anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just kind of I personally I could relate at least from the guy's side. Maybe the girl's side they don't want boys crushing that hard on them. I don't know.
I don't think it's that there was a crush. It's that
Yeah.
for the development of the movie, there's no reason from a story perspective for them to like kiss at the end, for her to be in the dream. It seems very
Yeah.
just tacked on, is what I'm saying.
I can see that. Yeah.
Okay.
The stereotyping just seemed really forced and too heavy.
Mhm.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
they were just really trying to push this like nerdy kid where like they can't get a girl. I don't know.
Which
There are
one's
better
the
ways to
nerdy
do it.
kid? All of them?
All of them. Yeah. I just feel like yeah.
Okay.
It could have still been there, and it's the crush element is still totally fine.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
and not like it's like, oh, they can't address that at all. But it was
Mhm.
just done in a really cheap way, I felt like.
Yes,
Okay.
that's an excellent way of putting it, a cheap way.
All right.
So that's something I didn't like.
I'll let it slide.
All right.
Good, Paul. But
No,
what
that's
wouldn't
fair.
you
That
let?
seems fair. Yeah. Huh?
What wouldn't you let slide about this movie? What is something you didn't?
Well, I mentioned that I like Jerry Goldsmith's music in this. I was able to listen to the soundtrack, and kind of like what you said earlier, is that there is a theme, but it's kind of all over the place. There's
Yeah.
not one that's. What they need to do is like have a mashup or a mix of all the best little like tunes and melodies into one nice
Yeah.
theme going there. A lot of the music is a little bit all over the place. I mean, it fit well with the story, but as far as a soundtrack is concerned, it was. I felt unfortunately it's a little lacking as a whole.
Mm-hmm. I concur.
Yep. And
Edna mode.
so D Tungsten says, "You mean like an overture?" Yes. They do have a bum 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 bum, kind of like a overture theme, but each one kind of only lasts for a few seconds. It's kind of like now this is where I get on people's bad sides. It's kind of like Lord of the Rings. And the fact that what's his name? Horn that does that?
James Horner?
Yeah. There is a theme for the Fellowship, but it's dun dun da da dun da da dun da da dun da da dun, and it plays for like 20 seconds at most during one part. There's not an actual song that has that establishes that theme. And I wish that Jerry Goldsmith had a song that really establishes the theme
Yes.
that made it more fun, enjoyable, and listened to.
Absolutely, yes. Yeah, I can totally agree. Danae, what is something that you didn't like, or was it the romance element, or was it something else?
No, I was just jumping on that one because I had
Okay.
more.
Okay, then go. What's something else you didn't like?
This is kind of nitpicky, but I felt like the whole like oxygen thing. Well, not only
that they could
were
eat
like
snacks at the same time.
right, well, that they were like in this apparently pressurized vessel that had just like a rubber gasket sealing it closed in the front, but they're like checking the pressure, but like had an oxygen tank, and then one of them with the gas mask, and then two of them with these like poorly fitted oxygen masks that were like literally in Ethan Hawke's mouth. Was so distracting. I was like, who came up with this? I get it, like the kids are gonna work with whatever they have, but also this is a movie, and if you're trying to like use these, there's significant amount of filming done with these nose masks on while they're like going around. I'm like, unnecessary. They could have come up with something different. They could have come up with a plot element where they didn't need oxygen sooner. It just felt really, really like patched together. It was super distracting.
Well, it's what kids do.
and
I thought it
also-
was realistic.
I'll also say that Apollo 13 taught me that you need like carbon dioxide scrubbers too. You can't just have oxygen. You need things that take out the carbon dioxide, or you're still just going
Yeah.
to suffocate because you're going to breathe out too much of that.
Yeah, right.
And yeah.
But they pressurize it, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Sure. How did they pressurize it?
The
How do they
carbon
do that?
dioxide's coming out. No, wait. That's not the problem. There's too much carbon dioxide.
Yeah,
I was
there's
about to say,
exactly.
the
Three of
computer's
them-
spitting out carbon dioxide.
Or they could have just said that their bubble was just like somehow sealed and didn't-
Semi-permeable. and
exactly, and like didn't need any. Like they could have come up with an equally ridiculous plot element
Also-
and not needed it at all.
Wouldn't the radiation from space like fry them also? Isn't that another factor they have to worry
no,
about?
they had the bubble.
I was gonna
What
say
the-
that, and
what?
then the TV screen.
It's a little mini
window.
ozone.
Oh my gosh. Oh, okay. Of course.
Yeah.
What was I thinking?
The aliens gave them that technology. Weren't you paying attention?
I must have fallen asleep, Paul.
They weren't the only ones dreaming.
Let's go back to Paul. What's something else you didn't like?
Okay. I have seen this, like I said, countless times as a kid, and I always thought it was weird. Okay. Do you remember the scene at the drive-in where
Yes.
they are watching in their spaceship, floating
Yes.
above the cars, watching, and then they say, "Oh, get out of here." So then they crash into the snack
set?
shop, the
Oh, no.
concession stand,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then for some reason, the movie set that they're watching on the movie screen of the drive-in,
Live.
it falls apart. And they're trying to put the movie set back together as they're trying to put the concession stand back together.
Yeah.
Are they filming? Is it a
They're
live feed
It's a live show.
up on the...
Oh,
And is this a common thing for drive-ins? Because I've never seen or even heard of that.
Was
I
not
think that's
explained.
just
Unnecessary.
coincidental. I don't think that's. I
No.
think it's just had.
I think it was meant as a funny gag, but it
Yeah,
does make it makes no
it
sense
made
at all.
No sense.
No.
You're like, okay, is that supposed to be just like exaggerative humor? But I'm like, why put it in there at all? Yeah,
Right.
It didn't make sense.
It confused me as a kid. It's for decades. It's haunted me. Why is this in here?
Again, with these like random little
That's
like plot element strings that are never re-referenced or explained, and just distract.
Well, that doesn't need to be re-referenced. That's just weird.
Yes, indeed. Something else that doesn't need to be re-referenced is, or that needs to be like looked into. You were talking about the oxygen, Danae. Something that boggled my mind is they take this computer system to a hilltop,
Yes.
and how is it being powered? And apparently
By a
somehow
9-volt battery.
The computer powers this bubble somehow, which it seems like that would take an enormous amount of power to be able to do that. And then the computer itself is running off a 9-volt battery.
Yes.
Yeah, it's portable. It's totally normal. Yeah.
But Francisco, it's only 128K. The memory. So
apparently what's funny, and I'll just read it so I get this correct. But what's the kid's name? River Phoenix's character.
Oh, Wolfgang.
Wolfgang. Yeah.
Wolfgang.
He says how the computer is like a Apple II or something like that.
Oh, does he? I don't remember
Yeah.
that. I just remember it
you
was
must
like
have fallen asleep, Paul. But
Well,
in
I was having
actuality,
dreams of like computer boards or something.
so the computer they actually use is a CGI Iris 1400 workstation that cost $35,000. It contained 73 megabyte hard drive, 1.5 megabytes of memory, and weighed 130 pounds. And required
That kid was not carrying it.
and required a custom portable wooden crate to house it on set. The movie needed a program written in C language that could redraw a 3D wireframe scene in real time, a feat not possible before the CGI produced this specialized hardware. So, yeah.
It should have won an award for that.
Well, yeah, probably.
Industrial Light and Magic.
And for running off a 9-volt battery.
Wow.
It's amazing. Modern science.
Wow.
At it again. Wow. So that was my thing that just I could not square. Danae, let's go to one more just like for you before we get to our tragic makers.
Okay. I hated the alien comedy routine song and dance number.
Are
Hated
you
it.
kidding me?
Hated
That's like one of the
it.
best parts.
What are you talking about? It's so
the corny
dumb.
jokes.
If it was standalone, like maybe. If it was like just this, but it was so distracting from the movie.
Yeah.
Just out of place, and I'm like, where is this like sidebar character that doesn't even? I mean, there's aliens. Does not fit with the rest of the movie. I feel like
Maybe
okay,
it doesn't fit with your
standalone,
expectations. Like it
nah.
didn't meet their expectations, which was
I
part of the
came in with
plot
none.
of the film.
Came in with no expectations. This is blind read. But I was just like I could kind of overlook the costuming because I'm like standalone. They're interesting. They don't really fit with the vibe of the movie. They didn't really fit with the spaceship. But
Well,
the whole
aliens
like
wouldn't.
hold it. But the whole like song and dance and like his, they've been consuming a lot of just TV and movie, and so he's speaking a lot in the like movie quotes and TV shows.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was funny. That was funny. But like when it just devolved into this musical number, I was like, unnecessary.
That's fun where they're dancing.
Yeah. Maybe
All
if it
around
was a
women.
Mel Brooks movie, but this was not a Mel Brooks movie. It felt like the alien scene in the diner in Spaceballs, where it's like, "Hello, my baby, hello." Remember when he comes out?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's what
yes,
it felt like. Yeah.
Yeah.
But this
And-
was trying to be serious.
Yeah, this is more. It'd be like if I almost want to say if you were watching Raiders of the Lost Ark, and at the very end, when they open up the Ark of the Covenant, when they open up the Ark of the Covenant, they have some like silly dinosaur come out and start singing or something. It just felt so out there.
Rock and roll is here to
They're
stay.
from like this really
That would be
serious,
hilarious. Just inserted randomly
dark
into movie climaxes.
Yeah, that's actually a fun bit. I like that idea, Paul. But it didn't make for a very compelling sort of work up to a climax, of which this had a very poor one for this movie.
It was a major step out, and
Yeah.
that was what really gave me the most Mac and Me vibes.
Indeed.
Which was Paul's favorite part.
It was just taller, slimier, greener Mac and Me's. That's all.
Right.
Paul, do you feel like you had like all the Looney Tunes references made you like this more than me maybe would have otherwise?
Maybe. I think it helped.
Okay. All right. There you go. Well, Paul, what definitely did not help this film? What did you hate the most about it?
All right. For my
tragic maker
is the fact that this is a little behind the scenes, but Paramount wanted to release this movie early for the summer movie-going audience, and they basically took this away from Joe Dante, the director, before he was finished. They edited it, and according to Dante, it felt like what was his quote? That there was a big lost in translation, is what he said. There was a disconnect of what he wanted as a final film and the actual final film. And I think a lot of these things that we find wrong with it probably would have been corrected. I would say about half, because look, let's be honest, Gremlins isn't the greatest movie ever.
No, not at all.
But I think this movie, it really suffers because of that. And I have the shout out or shout box, whatever, edition of this movie where they did the interview with Joe Dante decades later, recently, and he has the time now to re-edit it to what he would like to, but this is decades later, and he doesn't have the wherewithal. He's not in the same mind frame or the same kind of, what he was thinking, what he was feeling back then.
Yeah,
he said
so it'd be a completely different movie now, really.
Right. It would be impossible to, unfortunately, too much time has passed, and it would be impossible to get what he really wanted. And so it's just lost what a better movie, I think, it is lost to time because of that.
He said, I found this quote. It said, "It's a tough movie for me to watch because it doesn't represent what I was trying to do. It's just an interim period that got frozen in stone." And then he says he's happy people say that they like it, show it to their kids. It's charming, but it just isn't what it could have been.
Mm-hmm. So I'm just looking through his filmography real quick, Joe Dante's.
Yeah.
And the only movie that really stands out as one that I would be excited to like review on the podcast again is Inner Space with Dennis Quaid and Martin Short. But Gremlins, which we've done, is fine. The Howling, I have no interest in seeing. Police Squad, I don't really care to see. Small Soldiers we did. I don't really care for that. Let's see. Those are the main ones that sort of stick out in my mind. He did the Twilight Zone movie, which I would be interested to see, but he did one of the segments in that.
I was about to say he wasn't the main director.
I'm sorry, that was the TV series. That wasn't the movie. Yeah, my bad. He did The Burbs, which I really don't want to see. He did direct Erie, Indiana, which I remember thinking that was a great series.
But again, that's probably just a few shows.
Yeah, 5 episodes of it. Yeah, not the whole thing. So anyway, I feel like more misses than hits with him.
So your tragic maker is Joe Dante?
No, my tragic maker is...
They did him wrong.
Now, this may be what you guys were just alluding to with how it got taken away from him.
Yeah.
But I feel like that, I was telling you, the first half of the movie I thought was great, sort of like building up momentum, and it's just dashed to pieces once they hit the aliens. I'm just like... What it was just a hard left into a completely different, like you said, Danae. It should have been like a Mel Brooks movie. It's like they took Indiana Jones the first half and then Mel Brooks the second half. Is this very disparate? So okay. So
is it Gremlins 2 where there's like the weird song and dance number with like the girl gremlin?
Probably
that
yes,
sounds
the girl
right.
gremlin.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
but I haven't seen
also
it.
okay. I was asking Travis that because I know I've seen parts of Gremlins 2, and I'm like, that's the level of weird that it also felt to me, where it's just like, meh, unnecessary. It's yeah.
So
there was a mismatch.
So I didn't care for the second half. I thought went just in a direction that made it very boring and not off-putting. I'd say just
slow and boring.
It wasn't really.
Slow.
It wasn't slow. Boring. I think that boring and not. It felt like it very anticlimactic. That's the way I'd put it. Very anticlimactic. So that's my tragic maker, and that leaves, I think, Danae. What did you hate most about this film?
I just feel like the plot was. We've talked about this, but the plot was so underdeveloped, and I don't know if it was like combination of the original script combined with like, insufficient editing, not being able to finish it. And then it says like the last 10 to 15 minutes of the movie, Dante said, was just a mess because like this last few scenes is all post-dub with other dialogue. It just doesn't feel finished.
Yeah.
And there, like we've talked about throughout, there's just a lot of these side plots that they were felt like they were trying to do more than they could in a regular feature-length movie, or they just needed to pare it down and really flesh out some more of like the interpersonal components, or just really focus on more of the space elements, or make the aliens fit the vibe of the movie more. But yeah, the whole plot seemed like it kind of jumped in kind of abruptly. The development was slow. Once it finally got going, then they just made a sharp turn. It didn't really fit.
Yeah. I'll say I'll just expand on that and summarize it and saying it like this. I feel like this movie was developing a lot of heart, and then it just dashed that to the side. It's like, we're gonna go for a straight up comedy now. And I almost feel like that's in a very similar way, and this is just to sort of bring all you up to speed that listen to the Never Ending Story, but don't like necessarily follow me in social media or anywhere. I did read all of the actual book of Never Ending Story. I said I was going to do that on that podcast. I did it. And like many people say, the movie is pretty much just the first 40 to 50% of the book. And I think the book does so much better at actually getting at the heart of what has a lot more heart to it, and actually finishes in a way that has so much more meaning. And I feel like this movie was trying to achieve something. Like I feel like there's glimpses of something that's really trying to say something profound, but it just like, you know what, we can't do that, so we'll just go do something else.
You know,
what's-
in the go ahead, Paul.
Go for
I'm
it.
master interrupting the master interrupter. Yeah.
Well, what's interesting is you brought up Neverending Story. It was directed by Wolfgang Peterson, and that's who originally was tasked to direct
do this movie.
Explorers.
Yeah.
He wanted directed in Germany, and they said no, we want it in U.S. So they gave it to Joe, Mr.
Sidebar.
Dante.
You know
Mr.
what's
Dante.
really funny to do at the very end of the movie when they're all flying?
Uh-huh.
Is turn off the movie audio and play
Okay.
the soundtrack to Neverending Story. It 100% fits.
That would totally fit.
I believe
I
it.
could totally see that.
Although,
like,
and then when you get to the Neverending Story, when you watch the Neverending Story and Sebastian goes on the dragon ride, then turn the volume down and start playing.
Oh my gosh.
it would totally fit.
Yeah.
Is his name Sebastian in the movie?
Bastian.
Yeah, Bastian. Okay, I thought because the book is Bastian, but thought I heard you say Sebastian.
Sorry.
Anyway, no worries.
I may have said Sebastian, but yeah.
No problem, Paul. I mean, you mispronounce words all the time. We all have words we mispronounce, like good old River Phoenix here. Anyway.
What's the matter?
Darn it, that's the wrong one. I meant to.
What's that supposed to mean?
Yeah, okay. Well, now that we've all entered our trajectories into the firing computer, Travis, do you have a firing solution for us?
Firing solution complete. Rating salvo at the ready. On your mark.
All right. Do we rate Explorers a classic? We'd recommend anyone go see this movie, whether or not they've seen it before. A nostalgic, it's worth your time to see today if you remember watching it as a kid or growing up. But if you've never seen it before, pass this one by. Or a tragic, we'd recommend no one go see this, whether or not they've seen it before. If you have never seen it, keep it that way. And if you have seen it, don't sully any good memories you have of it with a rewatch. So let's start with Danae. What is your final rating for Explorers?
A movie you've never seen before.
A movie you've never seen, yes.
I know. I rated a tragic, which is so rare for me.
Yeah. I know. You should have rated that Jurassic Park
Shocker.
tragic, but
I know you're really surprised by how much I was gushing over this movie. Just blew your mind.
oh my
I'm
goodness.
sorry, I am shocked because I wasn't paying attention to the last 15 minutes or so.
Tragic.
Tragic, all right.
I mean, unless somebody just really wanted to get a obscure snapshot of like 80s culture or had a really strong attachment to it, I would probably not recommend somebody spend their time to watch it.
Totally.
Sad. Sorry.
Now,
Interesting story. It doesn't make any sense at all.
before we get into me and Paul's reign, we do ask you all who support us on locals. You can contribute to the final reign as well. And of the votes there, the Reflex Capacitors rated Explorers a classic. So we have a classic from them. Paul, what is your final reign for Explorers?
I predicted classic,
Yeah, you did,
and
yeah.
I had a fun trip watching this. I think I would recommend it to anybody. Just
Oh, wow,
check
really?
these kids out. If you haven't seen it before, these goofy kids, well, they aren't goofy. Some people think they're nerdy and creepy, but I think they're fun, and I think it's a fun adventure. And yeah, there's a twist at the end, and some people don't like the twist, and I think it's fun, so I'd recommend it. I give it a classic.
So you
Wow.
said you predicted classic, but that you really enjoyed like the trip, which sounds like nostalgic and not classic, but I don't know.
It's both.
Okay,
Oh
all
my
right.
gosh. He's faking us out, Danae.
Yeah.
My goodness.
I thought he was really gonna tank it and just go tragic.
I
After all
know.
that build up.
Well, you know what, Paul? I think you may have persuaded me to stick with my reign of tragic
join
because
Danae.
Give in to your feelings.
but alas, of course, this would happen. We now have a tie. So how do we resolve this?
Let's tally up the chat.
Yes.
Well,
You
what if I
live
get-
now.
What if I get Travis to vote?
Hey, if he jumps in,
If he jumps in chat
right now,
yeah, right now, everyone in chat. That's a great method for final tie breaking. If you're here live watching and this happens, you can help us determine the tiebreaker. So explorers, you could write a C for classic, an N for nostalgic, a T for tragic. And yeah, D-Tungsten, don't vote again because you sort of already voted.
Oh, but he's in here.
Fine, vote again.
Yes, get that
right.
classic in. Thanks.
Also, if I'm also here, I'm gonna vote as well.
I guess that's. Let's see. So I haven't seen it. Can't vote.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's fair. I vote multiple times. Oh my gosh.
But I was about to say, does that make it nostalgic if you have 2 classics and 2 tragics?
We may have to go with that. Yes, because I as much as I know,
like if we count D-Tungsten's 12 votes here, how far till it pulls?
Yeah, you have to be in the YouTube or Twitch chat today. I see the private tragic.
Oh, that's right.
Count it.
Are you gonna type it, Paul? Oh,
yes,
fine.
I'm in the chat too now, baby.
Fine. There. Now I put a tragic on all the platforms, so that counts for 4.
Okay.
Well,
oh my goodness. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna say nostalgic. It's fine.
Oh, that's a totally different category. Or you could say it's classically tragic, but that's that's deviating.
It's a new rating.
It's
for a new show. Thanks, Thunder Road 3.
I mean, for me, I probably could have said it was nostalgic, except for it's not nostalgic to me because I didn't ever watch it. But I could see how it could be nostalgic for a lot of people.
No, don't give an inch. Don't give an inch.
You're killing me, Smalls.
All right, so we're just gonna say, according to the Retro Rewind podcast, we rate Explorers a highly disputed nostalgic film. So disputed it didn't get a nostalgic ratings.
It's polarizing.
It's very polarized.
Exactly.
Yes, but if you have seen it before, you might like it again. If you haven't seen it before, don't.
Don't do it.
But now it's time to get back to our own time. Good old 20XX.
20XX?
Comsat online. Receiving incoming transmission.
Are we allowed to go back to 20XX with our Thunder Road 3?
You know, I'm looking at the readings here. Something feels like it's pulling us in. We may have to.
No.
We might have to see what that is in the ship's log. But why'd you do that? We're not rewinding.
Oh, sorry.
No, I'm just like seeding the story.
Oh, cut that out.
Clash the
You're
tragic.
ruining the story, Paul.
Okay. But until that's on the horizon, it's coming up. But for now, let's close out the show by saying thank you so much to our amazing reflex capacitors, namely Deborah Powers, Geek Devotions, Drew of the Cellcast, Ashley Ruiz. Did I say Cellcast? Drew of the Cellcast, Ashley Ruiz, Kenneth In, Fabulous Lomax, Rosie Lomax, That's Our Babo, D. Tungsten, Dale, Mr. Lost, Daryl Hafner, Cool Deluxe, in addition to 2 other awesome patrons as well. Thank you all so much for keeping the gigawatts coming. And if you want to help us keep flying and get bonus content for your generosity, head over to retrorewindpodcast.com/support to start.
This stream here is sponsored by PaulJPowers.com. That's really what's up, Doc.
Hey, Francisco, are there any non-monetary ways to support the show?
Actually, yeah, Paul. You listening probably enjoyed this episode if you made it this far. So if you aren't driving, tap that share icon in your podcast player for this episode and send it to a friend saying, I know you like Explorers, so I thought you might like this episode about it.
Yeah. Here these people hate on it. Sorry, I tried to help.
There's this movie that they made in the 80s you haven't heard of, but you should listen to it.
Exactly.
Hey, I heard you hate Explorers. Check this out.
Come hate on it with us.
Hey, we're just polarized. We serve both audiences here.
Yeah.
Yes,
If you think
there
it's in
were
the middle,
there
this
were
is not.
good things.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's not for you if you think it's just okay.
Oh my goodness.
It's either great or trash. Cool beans. And I bet they'll even thank you for it. For sharing
Right,
this.
yeah. Oh, absolutely. Why wouldn't
Yeah.
they?
And speaking of thanking people, we also want to give a big virtual
Exploring- garbage, yes. Or tilt-a-whirl.
Junkyard hug. For supporting us with your thoughts, Danae. Thank you so much for coming on. Where can people find you online? And is there anything cool you got going on? If not, just have them check out the show or what's going on.
Yeah, let's see. Online, I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. Those are the main ones. I don't have external platforms like you guys do.
Oh.
But I'm available. You can send me a note. Tell me how much you disagree with me.
You mean agree with you? Because
or both. Yeah.
Or both. Yeah, there you
go.
I both agree and disagree.
Oh.
No,
I
nothing.
both.
Nothing else super exciting going on.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you again so much, Danae. Thank you to my spaceship building friend Paul and all you rewinders, new or old, for another fun voyage.
You're welcome. And you can find me, pauljpowers.com at pauljpowers.com.
That's what I thought. And you can find me on our Discord for show announcements or just to say hi. Join us there at retrorewindpodcast.com/Discord.
This podcast is a proud member of Culture Box, a curated collection of podcasts, videos, and articles that will provide you a balanced meal of content. You will find culture celebrated for its past and future, satirized for its extremes, explored in study, and created anew in story. Point your web browser to culturebox.media.
Thank you, Nathan. And as he just said, we are now part of the Culture Box Media Network. Find all the shows unpacking truth through story, comedy, and geekery at culturebox.media. More to fill in here with Rewinders of the Lost Pod. That's what the notes say.
Was it in all caps?
Yes.
Yeah.
And highlighted?
So that I would know to go back and actually.
Good. Way to stick to your script.
Yeah.
Owned
That
it.
way, when the wavelength gets higher in your audio editing, you know to fill that in.
Right here.
I don't know what should we say. I don't think there's anything really to say there, though. I mean, I'm sort of at a loss. I'll just say for now, I'll cut it at culturebox.media. Thank you, EXO, and thank you all for listening. We pray you are more joyful today than when you first hit play. But like a Pokemon, we gotta catch you for
Like a what?
But like a Pokemon, we gotta
Why
catch
do you say it like that for people editing? But like a Pokemon, natural.
I was gonna leave the flub in, Paul. That's why.
Well, leave it all in. This is gold. Or edit it out because it's not. Either way, it's polarizing. Let's go.
Silver at best.
Yeah.
Thank you, EXO, and thank you all for listening. We pray you are more joyful today than when you first hit play. But like a Pokemon, we gotta catch you. What?
That sounds natural. You make me feel
I think you need to do it and pause right before it so then Paul can interject.
like
Pokemon.
a natural Pokemon.
Oh my god.
Thanks, folks. Join us next time.
But like a Pokemon, we gotta catch you all for the next episode of the Retro Rewind podcast. I'll play the outro here.
What will
I'm not
it
gonna do that
be?
because it's still old.
All right. Should I play my stinger or no?
Yeah, you can go ahead and play yours
All
if
right,
you have
here
one.
we go.
Thank you. No more, please. My heart.
And we're sorry you have to run along so soon.
Aren't they great? Let's give them a big send-off.
No, they're not so great.
I was really proud of myself when they did the Mr. Ed reference because
Uh-huh.
my mom used to teach us all like the old TV theme songs. So I've probably seen a couple of episodes, but I was like singing along the whole song.
Yeah.
There's
Oh,
a lot
that's
of
fun.
good old TV references in there.
Yeah. But I feel like there needs to be some point to
horse is
why
a
they're
horse.
referencing all
Exactly.
these references.
Exactly.
I mean,
They say that because it's TV. That's all they know of Earth. It's just
but
the
what's the
waves.
point of that being in a movie?
It's
Why
to show
why is it in my
it.
movie?
You know that saying, "Show me, don't tell me."
Yeah,
But
okay. But you show things that are important to the plot development and moving the
Right.
story along. This does nothing.
I
This
agree,
is just,
which is why this movie's a classic.
You know what I thought would have been interesting, but I don't remember when they did it. You know how they sent up like the record of like all the audio into space like a long time ago.
Oh yeah. The
Wouldn't it have
golden
been-
disc thing.
Yeah, wouldn't that
Yeah.
have been funny if that was the audio that was that they had was like they had the recordings that they sent up into space for
Yeah, that would have been interesting. Yes.
way more relevant than like, oh, we've just like randomly picked up on your like TV waves and whatever.
Mhm.
Like, it's
Yeah.
not random, but that would have been like a cooler tie-in to
Exactly.
history of
I agreed.
How do you know they didn't? How do you know on that golden record wasn't?
yeah. It just really fits. Just really fits with this movie.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
The aliens singing it.
Okay, so everyone watching, we are going to be ending the live stream, and Danae and Paul, I'm going to be switching over to the recording setup so that we can record a practice run through of the story. And thank you, D Tungsten, Bobo, everyone who's been hanging out in chat. Appreciate you all.
Yeah, way to
We'll
keep
be
it
back.
classic, D Tungsten.
Indeed, we'll be back this Saturday for more Phantasy Star 4 in the morning for Sega Saga Saturdays. But until then, here is your stream face.
And we're sorry you have to run along so soon.